So the Bank of Canada just decided to do a rate pause at their last meeting and bringing some temporary relief to homeowners. But that relief may be a little bit short-lived because the worst may be yet to come. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sid Sur from Team Sur Real Estate. I help clients with buying, selling, leasing, investing, as well as platinum access to pre-construction condos. If this is your first time on this channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button for all things real estate. And if you'd like to book a no obligation one-on-one consultation with me, please go ahead and click the link in the description to book a call. So let's start with the Bank of Canada's recent announcement on September 6th to hold their key interest rates after they hiked the rates twice this summer. So around the end of spring, inflation numbers were sort of ticking down. They were in that 2% range. I believe it was 2.8. And then slowly it started ticking back up to 3.2%, which really alerted the Bank of Canada to put on the brakes and raise interest rates again in order to slow down the economy. Obviously, back in March, April, and May of this year, which would typically be the spring market, real estate, what it seemed like was back in a full frenzy. It gave me a lot of flashbacks of the peak of 2022, back of, February, March of 2022. But all of that came to a screeching halt once the bank started raising their key interest rates starting in June. Market activity slowed down quite a bit and prices started to, in many ways, correct itself or really come down in values. But of course, the hike in interest rates mixed with the fact that real estate is slow in the summer months really brought a lot of buyers and sellers into the backseat. But let's look at some year-over-year numbers now. So looking at August 2023 compared to August 2022, prices are more or less exactly the same. Month over month, prices actually trended down about 3%. And prices since May, which was really the peak of the market this year, they're down about 9.5% since May. And if you watched many of my previous market update videos, I did sort of call for prices either being stagnant or probably trending down a little bit, and we're starting to see that now over the last few months. Now let's look at another measure that I like to do, which is called the months of inventory. This is not something that they release in the reports, but it's something you can actually calculate based on the numbers that are provided. So the months of inventory is really a measure of the overall absorption rate. We simply take the number of sales and divide it by the number of active listings. So in this case, the number of sales in the month of August were 5,294, and you divide that by the number of active listings, which is 15,497, and you get exactly 2.9, which means 2.9 months of inventory. So if no new listings were to come out into the market, the months of inventory means it would take 2.9 months or almost 3 months for all of the existing properties on the market to be absorbed or sold, which in this case puts us in somewhat of a balanced market. And I think we're starting to see that even actively in the market right now. We are starting to see listings stay on a little bit longer in the market. However, there is a caveat to all this because not all stats and property types are created equal. If you look at the detached segment, year over year, we're actually looking at a 3% increase in average prices, semis with almost 7% increase, townhouses with almost 4% increase in average pricing, and condos with a slight decline of almost 1%. Now, another thing we're noticing is that sellers are pretty firm on their pricing and are refusing to accept, prices or offers way below their expectations. And I can speak to this personally, dealing with seller clients right now, a lot of them are not wanting to take offers that are lowballs. And in my opinion, neither should they, despite being motivated to sell. There's still a lack of inventory, especially in the low-rise segment like detached semis and townhouses. And depending on areas, some sought-after areas in Toronto, we're still seeing multiple offers on properties with offer dates. And speaking of inventory and supply, we're still very much behind on schedule with our target rate for, building new housing. In 2022, we had about 96,000 new housing starts. And according to the Ford government's plan of building 1.5 million homes over the next decade, we're still over 50,000, more than 50,000 homes short every single year. So that supply problem is going to continue to get worse. And when you add to that the fact that, developers are being asked to pay, an increase in fees and levies and taxes, development charges, when you look at the cost of a new construction home, nearly 20 to 30% of that is going towards these government charges and levies. It's no wonder new homes are so much more expensive. So now let's talk about the foreseeable future. Now that we've had a rate hold, I do feel like it's going to bring some optimism in the fall market, and hopefully we're going to start to see more and more supply and new listings come out. But I personally believe that's going to be short-lived because we've got two more rate announcements coming this year, one in October and one in December, and I do believe, according to most experts as well, that the Bank of Canada is going to do another rate hike. And I think overall in the winter, we are going to see kind of a slowdown. So I think prices will more or less pretty much be stagnant throughout the rest of this year. Even though there's some optimism in the market right now with the rate hold, interest rates are still high and affordability is still low. People are still having to qualify for 5-year fixed with, in the high 5% range and variable rates in the, mid 6 to high 6% range. But I do feel that we will see a rise in the number of sales, but also a rise in the number of new listings coming out. I'm urging all of my buyer clients right now to, if they haven't already, lock in their interest rates before the next rate hike and really focus on what they can afford, especially for a lot of new first time buyers. The condo market has a ton of supply and a lot of pickings and virtually no competition. I know condos are not everybody's cup of tea when it comes to, owning their ideal property, but it is a stepping stone and climbing the property ladder. It's a great way to enter the market, which you can build equity on and later on sell and then go into a townhouse or a semi and then eventually a detached home. What will be interesting to see in the future is all of the renewals that are going to be coming out, in 2025 and 2026 for all of the buyers who locked in a sub 2% interest rate during 2020 and 2021, the COVID years when money was practically free. And because, according to most experts, rates will probably not start coming down until late 2024, maybe early 2025, it'll be interesting to see how these, home buyers who had locked in these low rates fare at that time when their cost of borrowing and their mortgage payments might go up 50, 60%. So we'll really have to wait and see how that whole thing plays out. Now, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you're looking to book a one-on-one consultation with me, please go ahead and click the link in the description to book a time. Thank you all for watching. Take care.